Hello guys, my name is Troy. Welcome back to my booktube channel. My bookshelf is finally replenished. I took all of my books down from this bookshelf for my creating poems with a book title video. You can see that up here. It was a really fun video. I created a bunch of poems using book titles and they came out pretty well according to you guys. Hopefully you weren't lying to me, but that was a really fun video, but it did require almost all of these books on this bookshelf, so I had to like manually put every single one back up here. It was a big task. But anyways, now we're here and we're finally recording this video. It is middle grade March. Today I will be showing you guys 5 middle grade recommendations I have for you. Some of these, and actually a lot of these, haven't been featured or talked about a lot, and some of these you've never heard about me talking about before, so this is gonna be a really interesting video. I can't wait to show you guys what I like for middle grade books. First, I just wanted to say that with the travel stuff, I think what I'm going to do is I'm 2/3 of the way through editing my travel montage, my 3-minute travel montage. That'll go out on Saturday. Well, I'll put it in the middle of my video. And then I think not this Monday, like this upcoming Monday, but the next Monday, I'll upload my travel vlog, which is a really big project. So hopefully I'll get it finished by then, but it's just a lot of editing basically. So it's really fun. So guys, let's just jump in right into the middle grade recommendations. Before we do, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel down below. All right, let's jump right into this video. My first recommendation is The Land of Stories, The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer, and yes, Maddie, I got you. Maddie is just one of my commenters that loves this series, and I do too, so I just wanted to talk about it as my first recommendation. This is not in any particular order. I just have 5 recommendations. Again, this is not like my favorite middle grade. Anyways, The Land of Stories. This is an amazing, really quick, like short, sweet, fun book that I just really love. I've not read the whole series or anything. I just love the first book. It's just really good, and I like to reread the first book a lot. Oh my god, my computer's about to die. This book is about these 2 people, Connor and Alex, and they are siblings, and basically they're just really struggling in life. Like, they lost their dad, they're just not living like in the perfect living conditions, and they're struggling with like school and like just not like, they're not doing well. And so when their grandma gives them a birthday present, they never really expect for it to transport them to another world. What happens is they get transported to the land of stories, where fairy tales come alive. And so basically all these different kingdoms have different fairy tales in it. So like Sleeping Beauty's in it in one kingdom, Rapunzel's in one kingdom, Snow White's in a kingdom, the big bad wolf and like all that stuff is in like the center kingdom. And so there are just all these different fairy tales like all scattered throughout this world, and it's real. And so these 2 siblings need to traverse the world and collect magical items to get back to their family back at home. And it's just a nice story, like an adventure through a fairy tale world. I love how like they're interacting with like fairy tale characters. It's just really fun. They're having to collect items from fairy tales from all across this world, and it's like so cool. Like they have to collect Cinderella's slipper, they have to collect like Rapunzel's hair, and they all combine to make the wishing spell where they can wish to go back home. And it's just a really fun story of them like adventuring throughout like the whole world, and you know, like interacting with fairy tale characters and just like having a good time. And there's even like some funny moments in there, and Chris Colfer honestly just has all my respect because this was just such a sweet, funny, and short novel. I really loved it, and I do want to read the full series at some point. I just don't know how or when. All right, my next middle grade recommendation is Stranded, from the host of Survivor, Jeff Probst, and I think also Chris Tebbets from Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life. Anyways, this book is really good, and I also just really like it because, you know, I really like Jeff Probst. I love Survivor. Survivor is like one of my favorite shows ever. I just love how this is kind of similar to that feel, and it's really good. Okay, anyways, Vanessa, Buzz, Carter, and Jane are going on a vacation right after their parents kind of meet. So like, I don't really know how to explain family dynamics, but basically, I guess like a mom had 2 kids and a dad had 2 kids. They're both single. Now, the 2 families are like combining, if that makes any sense. And so now they're going on a vacation on a cruise around like different spots in the ocean, but they never expect to have a storm wreck their ship, and their ship goes like spiraling out of control. The adults on the boat jump off the boat for some reason. I don't really remember why, but then the kids get stranded on this island by themselves without parents or adults. And they have to, survive on this island. And so this is like a series. I think there's 3 books in this like first island, and then somehow they end up on a second island for the second series. And I love all the books in this series. It's just really fun, like kind of like seeing how their family dynamic evolves over time and how they have to work together to, get out of this island and survive together. And I just really like a lot of the survival books. Like I read Hatchet before, a lot of people read Hatchet. I just love seeing like how they have to survive. Like they use their surroundings to their advantages, and it's just a really fun story. And again, it's like another short book, 4 kids surviving on an island together. What could go wrong? Alright, let's jump into my next recommendation. Next up is a book that I've actually already read for middle grade March, and that is Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. This book is like my favorite book ever, like it's my favorite series ever, and I'm just so in love with it, and so I had to reread it for middle grade March. This book is about this girl named Sophie Foster. She's 12 years old, and she's just not normal, so she can hear people's thoughts. And so one day while she's at a museum and someone comes up to her with her newspaper and takes her to this magical world where the sprawling cities of the elves live, she is just bamboozled. In a matter of days, Sophie Foster is moved into this new environment, into this new world in the Lost Cities where the elves live, and she has to fit in. She has to go to this new school called Foxfire, and she has all these crazy new abilities, and she's just this new, like, mysterious girl. But soon she learns that not everyone is going to welcome her with open arms as a long lost elf, and that people would even kill her for her secrets. And so this book is just kind of how Sophie Foster has to adapt to this new world, how she has learned all these human thoughts and techniques, and now she has to unlearn everything, and she has to go into this new world and learn all these magical things and go into these magical places and just relearn basically everything she's learned and navigate all these new politics and these new technologies. It's just such a great book. And then as the series goes on, there are more darker politics brought in, where there's these 2 secret organizations kind of like fighting at each other, and they're both wanting power in different ways, and it's just a really good series. So I probably read this series 8 times, by the way. It's just such an amazing series. I love the characters, I love the plot, and I just love the world. I just love everything about this. Gotten to meet the author, Shannon Messenger, and just over time I've gotten so attached to it. Anyways, yeah, K2C is amazing. Let's get on to the next book. And my next middle grade recommendation is The Witches by Roald Dahl. This book is basically about, it's like an urban fantasy where there are witches in this world, and there are women with like kind of like odd features, like they have square toes, they have like blue spit, and it's kind of like hard to tell like between women and witches in this world. And so we follow one main character and a grandma where they both experience different encounters with witches throughout their lives. The book mainly follows like the grandson, but the grandma, is telling all these stories about witches to her grandson, and then they start to come alive. And so this grandson has multiple encounters with these witches, and eventually the main plot of the story is they go to this hotel. There's like a witch meeting going on, and basically it just does not go right. The grandson gets trapped in the room with all the witches, and I just don't want to say much more than that, but basically it's just this crazy fun story. It's not like scary witches, it's just like fun witches, and I just don't think like the cover has like an accurate representation. It's just like a really super silly and goofy story about all these witches and how they hunt kids and how they have to like try to like get these traps to hunt kids, and it's just kind of funny how like they try to take down the witches. And basically the story is about a grandson and a grandma trying to take down a horde of witches at this hotel. It's really cool, it's really funny, and I don't want to just mention this book. I think my recommendation is just going to be Roald Dahl in general. His books are just so funny, so hilarious, so short and sweet, and I mean, I honestly just looked up to Roald Dahl so much when I was little, and I've read like a lot of his books, and they're just so good. Like this BFG one is basically this girl named Sophie is captured by a giant, but this giant is like different from the rest in that he is friendly, and so then she goes on an adventure with this giant. And so basically all his books are also like very like unique in that they're all like about mythical creatures, and they're all about like weird magical powers, and it's just, his books are so good, so lighthearted, and I honestly just have the best time reading them. I think I'm going to read the BFG for my Corona quarantine vlog that I'm gonna do one day. I'm gonna do like a reading for 24 hours straight, Corona quarantine quarantine edition video. That's gonna be fun. So that's my recommendation. Totally check out Roald Dahl. He's an amazing author. I don't know if he's still alive, but his books are just amazing. All right, my next recommendation is The Unwanteds by Lisa McMann. I feel like I've talked about this in my fantasy recommendation video. If you have not watched that already, I'll link it up there. The Unwanteds is a really fun story, and it's just evolved over time. Like, I feel like it started with just this one book, and then it turned into a series, and then there was a spin-off series by the same author of like a kind of like a sequel series, and so now there's like maybe like 10 to 11 books in the series, and it's just, I'm loving it so much. I'm sorry, my microphone is being so weird. Anyways, The Unwanteds is about each year, all the 13-year-olds, I believe it's the 13-year-old, 13-year-olds are sorted into 3 categories through the purge. There's the wanteds, there's the necessaries, and there's the unwanteds. Wanteds are people that are going to universities and colleges and are going to work the more high-skilled jobs. Necessaries are going to work the labored jobs that are like farming and like just doing like odd jobs for the wanteds. And then the unwanteds are people that they don't want, and so they send them to their deaths. This book follows, again, Alex and Aaron. Aaron is sent to the wanteds, where he's going to go to college, and then Alex is sent to the unwanteds, awaiting his death, where we find out that they don't get killed. And what happens is there's this magical man named Mr. Today who is saving all these kids and is actually just kind of like the whole oil field that they like go into to die is just a ruse. There's a magical mansion where they go and they learn about art and how to use that as weapons. And then this book follows Aaron and Alex as the two worlds find out about each other, and then there's this magical war brewing. You see this magical battle between like art and skill and weaponry, and it's just a really fun book. We follow mainly Arteme, which is this, you know, mansion in this like colorful world, because like Quill is like a dull and like desolate world. Arteme is this really colorful world where there's so much art and so many classes, and it's like kind of like the Hogwarts, but not really like Hogwarts at all, and it's just so creative. And then there's like that dull Quill, and so it's just so fun to learn about like all the fun and colorful and like artsy mansion of Arteme and just how they have to defeat Quill. And it's, again, I'm just not feeling book descriptions today, but it's a really fun and creative story, and as it goes on, relationships get so much more complex, and the story and the plot just develops a lot, and I really don't know what to say else, but love this, guys. Totally recommendation. Okay, you know what? Let's just end the video because I'm just tripping all over my words. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video of me talking about all of these books. I hope these were some new books for you that you haven't heard about before. I totally challenge all of you guys to read a middle grade book in March if you haven't already, just to celebrate middle grade March and, you know, celebrating like our childhood. Anyways, if you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I'm actually doing a lot more recommendation videos if you have not seen already. I did a fantasy recommendation video, I did a dystopian recommendation video, and now I'm doing this middle grade recommendation video. And I think next someone commented and requested for a sci-fi. I will definitely be doing a sci-fi recommendation video at some point as well, once I get to read a little bit more sci-fi. Comment down below, have you read any of these books? If so, what did you think of these? What is your favorite middle grade book, and what have you read this month for middle grade March? If you want to check out another fun video I did, tap up here for my dystopian recommendation video. It gave a lot of fun dystopian recommendations for you if you are interested in dystopian books. Anyways guys, I think that wraps up all that I had to say. I love you guys so much. Remember to stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video on Saturday. Bye guys!